In the heart of Brazil's largest city, São Paulo, lies a place so infamous that its very name sends chills down your spine, Cracolandia. Known as one of the world's largest open-air drug markets, this chaotic zone has become both a harsh reality and a chilling reminder of the struggles that define urban life. Welcome to a journey through the tourist destination where I uncover the raw and often unseen sides of our world. Imagine stepping into a world where time seems to stand still, a football field-sized area filled with addicts, dealers, and makeshift shelters. This is Cracolandia, a place that's been described as living among the walking dead. Thousands of people gather here daily, not to celebrate life but to survive it. The air is heavy with smoke and the streets are alive with a rhythm that is both frantic and methodical. Dealers peddle their goods openly while users huddle in small groups, lighting crack pipes with trembling hands. There's a haunting stillness in the chaos, as if the area exists in its own dimension, separate from the bustling metropolis that surrounds it. But Cracolandia is more than a notorious drug haven. It's a symbol of deep-rooted issues like poverty, addiction, and a public health crisis that refuses to go away. And today, we're diving deep into this reality to uncover what keeps this place alive despite countless government efforts to shut it down. To understand Cracolandia, we must look at its history. This area wasn't always what it is today. Decades ago, it was a regular part of the city, home to working-class families and small businesses. But as poverty grew and drug use became rampant, the area transformed. By the late 1980s, it had earned its chilling nickname, Cracolandia, the land of crack. The rise of crack cocaine in Brazil hit hardest in marginalized communities. São Paulo, with its sprawling urban landscape and deep social inequalities, became a perfect breeding ground for an epidemic. What started as isolated incidents grew into a full-blown crisis, with Cracolandia at its epicenter. Over the years, authorities have tried to dismantle Cracolandia with force, demolishing shelters, arresting dealers, and displacing addicts. Yet, every time it's cleared, it resurfaces like a ghost haunting the streets of São Paulo. Walking through Cracolandia feels like stepping into a dystopian movie. The streets are chaotic yet eerily organized, with dealers on one side and makeshift shelters on the other. People move like shadows, eyes glazed over, their movements slow and deliberate. It's a world where hope seems to have vanished. At first glance, it's easy to see only despair. People crouch in corners, their faces lined with the evidence of a hard life. But if you look closer, you'll notice something else: survival. Each person here is fighting a battle, clinging to whatever semblance of life they can manage. The scale of the crisis is overwhelming. Thousands of people call this place home, even if only temporarily. For many, it's the only home they've ever known. Children play on the sidelines, oblivious to the harsh realities around them. It's a scene that's both heartbreaking and infuriating. A stark reminder of how deeply inequality runs in our society. Cracolandia isn't just about drugs, it's a case study in social inequality. Poverty, homelessness, and addiction collide here in ways that are impossible to ignore. Public health workers describe it as a humanitarian crisis, with diseases like tuberculosis and HIV spreading rapidly. Efforts are being made to help. Outreach programs offer clean needles, food, and basic medical care. But the lack of long-term rehabilitation solutions means many are stuck in a vicious cycle. One outreach worker told me, "We're trying to save lives, but the resources are never enough. We're treating symptoms, not solving the root cause." Despite these efforts, the challenges are monumental. For every person who receives help, countless others fall through the cracks. The need for systemic change has never been more apparent. So why does Cracolandia persist? Experts point to systemic issues: corruption, inadequate funding for mental health services, and a focus on punishment over rehabilitation. Each time the government clears the area, addicts and dealers simply move to a new location, only to return days later. It's a game of cat and mouse with no real winners. The root causes, poverty, lack of education, and social inequality, remain unaddressed. Without meaningful change, Cracolandia is doomed to repeat itself, an endless loop of despair and displacement. What's happening in Cracolandia isn't unique to São Paulo. Cities around the world face similar challenges. From Vancouver's downtown east side to Philadelphia's Kensington Avenue, the global drug epidemic highlights the need for comprehensive solutions that go beyond law enforcement. Some places are finding innovative ways to tackle these issues, focusing on harm reduction and long-term rehabilitation. Safe injection sites, community-based recovery programs, and housing-first initiatives are proving effective in reducing harm and saving lives. Could these solutions work in Cracolandia? The answer isn't simple, but the potential is there. What's needed is a shift in mindset, a move away from punishment and toward compassion and understanding. Despite the bleakness, there are stories of survival and resilience. I met individuals who had escaped Cracolandia, turned their lives around, and now help others do the same. One former addict told me, "Leaving wasn't easy, but I found hope in recovery programs." It's possible, but we need more support for those still trapped. Programs like this give a glimpse of what could be possible if more resources were allocated to recovery and reintegration. They show that change is possible, even in the darkest corners of society. Cracolandia is more than a place. It's a mirror reflecting the failures and struggles of society. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about addiction, inequality, and the systems we've built. As I left Cracolandia, I couldn't shake the feeling that this place is both a warning and a call to action. It's a stark reminder that no society can thrive while leaving its most vulnerable behind. If this story moved you, consider learning more about harm reduction and addiction recovery. Change starts with understanding, and together we can push for solutions that prioritize people over punishment. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you want to explore more hidden corners of the world, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us next time on The Tourist Destination. Until then, stay curious.